Welcome to Chatting the Pictures. My name is Cara Finnegan, and I'm a writer, teacher, and historian of photography.
And I'm Michael Shaw. I'm a writer, a psychologist, and also publisher of Reading the Pictures.
There are many reasons why this photo has earned such high acclaim. Its power comes from the extraordinary combination of memory and nature, with the fullest expression of earth and air, light and darkness, color and texture.
This photo was taken by Amber Bracken for the New York Times. The dresses you see are hung on crosses along a roadside commemorating 215 children found in unmarked graves who died at the Kamloops Indian Residential School in British Columbia. It was part of a network of schools across Canada that forcibly assimilated at least 150,000 Indigenous children. Physical, emotional, and sexual abuse were rampant in these institutions, as was forced labor. Bracken's image just was awarded the 2022 World Press Photo of the Year.
The memorial itself is really heavy with symbolism. The red dresses that you see on some of the crosses are a now common image representing Indigenous women who are disproportionately affected by violence. And there are other examples of art installations and community memorialization projects that use the red dress to call attention to missing and murdered Indigenous women. The orange shirts are meant to represent child victims of violence and trauma in the residential schools. And then the crosses, of course, really highlight the hypocrisy of the church that often overlooked or condoned the abuses in these schools. The memorial itself is also trading in other kinds of similar memorializations. For example, after the discovery of the Kamloops graves last year, a group of activists featured an exhibit of children's shoes to represent the children who were murdered and abused. We've also seen, looking further back, exhibits of shoes representing the numbers of victims of gun violence, particularly young people and children. So all of these choices are grounding this photo itself. And so when we turn to Bracken's photo, we see what she does with all of that symbolism.
I think that this photograph really reflects what is the defining feature now of great photojournalism, which is storytelling. I think this is actually a profound study in contrasts. If we talk about the directional elements, for example, you have the road and civilization to the left versus the path, and the dresses on the crosses to the right. You have the dark clouds versus the blue, the little bit of clearing sky. And there's like all kinds of storyful and emotional elements to that contrast. And then you have death in contrast to the rainbow. All these elements make this photograph extraordinarily powerful and speaks to us at so many different levels of experience and perception.
Yeah, the photo really condenses all of the symbolism within its own really powerful composition. I'm struck by the way that the crosses just seem to go on endlessly off the right side of the frame, and that gives you a sense of just the weight and the depth and the extent of the trauma and the violence. And all of these aspects, I think, come together in this photo in a way that I think suggests a kind of beginning of being able to come to terms with what has happened at this place, but also the photo really highlights the extent of the cost.